Rachel arrived back at the castle alone and walked in through the front door. She followed a passageway to the left, then veered into the courtyard. She crossed it quickly, trying to seem busy in case anyone saw her. Luckily, it was DJ, not Drac. Luckiest of all, he looked like he'd just woken up.
"Whoa, Rachel, what are you doing up so early?"
he probed groggily. She slowed down but didn't turn or stop to respond. "I heard something outside and went to investigate. Turned out to be a bird. Flew into my window, silly thing." The lie rolled off easily, mostly because she'd thought up several on her way back to the castle.
"Is Edward still asleep?"
"Yep, just like I'm going to be in a few minutes. I'm tired." Rachel said this as she walked through the door on the far side from where she'd entered and turned out of sight. She followed the hall to the end and went up the stairs. About halfway up, she stooped and pulled off the top of the next stair. Under it was a rope that she knew reached exactly to the ground where Eddie and Becca would be waiting. She replaced the board and continued up the stairs. At the top, she moved swiftly to the third window, opened it, and threw one end of the rope down. As it fell, she tied her end around the sconce on the wall next to the window. She looked down and watched the rope thud quietly onto the grass next to Eddie and Becca. They exchanged words, and Becca climbed on Eddie's back. Then he began climbing the rope. When they reached the top, Rachel helped Becca down to the floor. She was a bit shaky, but otherwise all right. "You guys just had this plan tucked away?" she asked skeptically as they began walking down the hall.
"Well, yeah, didn't you ever come up with escape routes for your house?"
Eddie seemed surprised when she shook her head. Suddenly, Becca let out a sharp cry. "Rachel, what's wrong with you?" "What?" Rachel looked around, confused, then realized they had just passed the mirror. She groaned inwardly at her oversight. "Oh yeah, about that. Becca, we're vampires. Sorry I forgot to mention that." She walked back to stand in front of the mirror again. Becca stood next to her, facing the mirror, and touched its perfect surface. Rachel lifted her hand up to the place her face would be in a reflection and touched the mirror. Her hand fell through.